Bingo, bango, bongo, bish, bash, bosh. Hello, everybody. We are live and alive. Thrilled to be joining you here from. Haha, you're not gonna get me that easily. Alright. Let's hit up our. Oh no. Oh god, I don't want to post a story for you fools. Why would Twitch think I wanted that? So, yeah, hi. How's everyone doing? I know yesterday's stream was a bit of a disaster. All 5 minutes of it. So, don't worry, we won't be trying to do Baldur's Gate. Sorry, no fun allowed. Yeah. Oh, damn. Very early. That go live notification. It's a insta-tap. What do you think about the looming government shutdown? You think they're gonna do it? Because I want to figure out what they're actually like going for with the shutdown. Like, because they say healthcare, but nothing happens. True. Oh, where's my nothing ever happens meter? Hang on. Here it is. The statue last night after poker. Oh, the Trump Epstein statue. This one? Man. It's still there? Seriously? Damn. Oh, removed from National Mall. Oh, wait, so is this fake news? That it got removed? Because that is epic if it's still there. Okay, I know, like, this is rage bait, but, this shit, like, actually not sent me up a wall, but it's like, come the fuck on. In, like, the National, like, Hall of Fame, or whatever, or, like, just where they post pictures of all the presidents, they replaced Biden's picture with the fucking auto pen. Like, it's rage bait, I know, but it works. I'm very annoyed at that. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Oh, Trump's meeting with Erdogan? Oh god. I did not know that was happening, so that'll be fun. U.S.-Turkey bilateral meeting. Oh my god.
What you could do would be great. I promise I'd tell you. They were up to it. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with President Erdogan of Turkey, and we've been friends for a long time, actually.
Does he mention the Armenian genocide? Yes or no? Can we get a Tylenol eating stream? Yeah, I think I have. I actually have Tylenol on me right now. I will not be eating it, though. Autism announcement? Oh yeah, I should probably change the stream title. Shut down looms. Shut down looms. 100 follower goal. I know, we're almost there. We're 6 followers away. I'm really excited. subathon, but with Tylenol. Oh, God. Alright. Subathon with Tylenol would go so fucking crazy.
Even for 4 years when I was in exile, unfairly, as it turns out. Rigged election, you know, he knows about rigged elections better than anybody. But when I was in exile, we were still friends.
What
That's
the
always
fuck?
a good way
Okay,
to find.
hold on. Sorry. I know it's like 5 fucking seconds in, but chillax, buddy. You lost an election. Okay, chillax. It's not fucking exile. You're not the Shah.
Yeah, test of friendship, but he's a highly respected man. He's respected very much in his country and all throughout Europe and throughout the world where they know him. He's built a tremendous military, powerful military, uses a lot of our equipment, and it's an honor to have him.
God, I almost didn't get the dad on Family Guy. That would have been a disaster. The lowest moment of my crossword career.
At the White House, we're going to have a lunch together. We're going to have a discussion, big discussion. We do a lot of trade with Turkey, and we're going to continue. We're going to do some additional trade. They want to buy F-16s, F-35s, and some other things, and we're going to talk to them about that. And we're just going to have, I think, a very interesting couple of hours. We're going to get a lot done. But I have great respect for this man, and we've had a very good relationship for a long time. If you remember, he led Pastor Brunson. He freed Pastor Brunson. Pastor Brunson was put in jail for 35 years before I got there. This was a group that should have stopped it, and the president, after I called him, released him, which was a great thing for our Christian community, our evangelical community, the evangelical.
Is the fucking strategy of the MAGA movement and Republicans going into the midterm and the next election to evangelize and make everybody super, super Christian? Like, I don't know if you guys saw the memorial, but that was above and beyond in terms of evangelicalism. Is that their plan going forward? That's a source crack pipe theory, but they're really leaning into it. And Trump is not like an especially religious guy, but I just find it odd about this uptick in like evangelical catering. I don't know. Willing to hear thoughts on that.
Really wanted that. It was very important to him, so I always remembered that. But he released him from 35 years in prison. And Pastor Brunson now is healthy, happy, and well. And we're very happy about that. But it's a great honor to have the president of Turkey with us. And how are you?
Fine.
Say a few words.
Fine.
Great guy.
Öncelikle bu ziyaretimizi Birleşmiş Milletler Genel Kurulu'yla iç içe olan bir dönemde gerçekleştirdiğimizden dolayı
Don't speak Turkish.
arkadaşlarımla beraber çok
So
mutluyuz.
we'll just wait here.
Gerek Sayın Trump'ın birinci döneminde gerekse ikinci dönemde
Any Turkish speakers in
Türkiye-Amerika
the chat?
ilişkilerinde farklı bir süreci yaşıyoruz. Kendilerinin de az önce ifade ettiği gibi gerek F-35 konusu, gerek F-16 konusu, gerekse Halk Bankası'yla ilgili aramızdaki ilişkiler konusunu bugün etraflıca görüşme fırsatı bulacağımıza inanıyorum. Heybeliada okuluyla ilgili ise orada üzerimize ne düşerse biz onu zaten yapmaya
Disney character who
hazırız.
asks, "Have you ever
Önce
met
de
a shark?"
Sayın Bartolomeo'yla bu konuyu görüşme fırsatı
Nemo?
olacak.
First, Mr. President, I am very pleased that this visit actually coincides with the 80th UNGA. So I am very pleased to be here with my colleagues and friends. And as we have said, during the first term of your presidency and during your second term, we are able to carry Turkey and U.S. relations to a much different level and process. And as you said, we have an opportunity here today to be able to discuss some of the issues regarding the F-35, the F-16, and also the Halkbank case, and we will have an opportunity to thoroughly discuss them. And based on what you have mentioned regarding the Heybeliada school, we are ready to do whatever we can that falls on our part, and I will, when I get back, try to discuss this issue with the esteemed Mr. Bartholomos to discuss how we can move forward on that.
Okay, very good. I would like to be able to do that. The Greek Orthodox Church was here, and they would really like to have some help. They need some help, and I said I'd mention it. We appreciate it. So this is a tough man. This is a guy who's highly opinionated. Usually I don't like opinionated people, but I always like this one. But he's a tough one, and he does an amazing
that would be the president of Turkey, Erdogan.
job in his country. And we've
God,
had
look how
tremendous
fucking
relationships,
gaudy
both having to do
all
with
this
war and having to
shit
do with
is back here
trade.
behind him.
And I guess today we're talking about both. I'd like to have him stop buying
Right
any
here,
oil
look
from
at
Russia while
White
Russia
House.
continues this
Our
rampage
Oval Office before and
against
after Trump.
Ukraine. And they've been fighting. They've lost millions of lives already. And for what? You know, for what? It's disgraceful.
Okay, wait
And
a
I
see.
said yesterday,
Please don't tell me he's going back on his support for Ukraine. Please.
let it keep going because their economy is absolutely terrible right now. And I think it's a shame that they're doing that, killing a lot of people unnecessarily.
Yeah, this is before and this is
7,818
after.
people were killed last week. Most
I don't know. I hope to God never. The way I see it, there's three options, right? First option, which is the worst, is he flips back and starts like trying to win Putin's heart again. That's the worst option. The second option is he doesn't do anything. He doesn't get in the way of the shipments of weapons we've already promised to Ukraine and continues to sell weapons to NATO, which is an affront in and of itself because like we are fucking NATO and he's trying to profit off this war. Third option, which is the best, is he's like, you know what? We're going to expedite these weapons contracts. We're sending as much as we can over to Ukraine ASAP. That's what I would prefer. But I'm hoping, but not counting on the fact that he is gonna. Yeah, I think number two is most likely, but number one, I'd say two is most likely, flipping back is second most likely, and then boosting support is the least likely, unfortunately.
military people, their people, and Ukrainians.
But
More Russians, actually.
TBD.
than Ukraine,
TBD.
A little bit more. But it's such a waste of human life.
holy shit.
And so we ought to stop.
They're sabotaging
Putin
him
stop.
again, just like at the UN. They
And
turned
with
him
that,
into 2
we'll get
pixels.
to a little bit of a discussion. We're going to make some great trade deals for both countries. We do a lot of business
Yeah.
with Turkey. They build great products. They build beautiful,
But I
great
think
products.
he just failed. I think Trump failed to realize that Putin's ambitions don't start and end with the U.S. He does just genuinely want Ukraine. And nothing Trump would have said or done other than military support to Ukraine would have stopped that.
Really fantastic manufacturers, and we buy a lot from them, and they buy a lot from us.
Also, how's my
would
mic?
you
Should it
have
be
any
quieter,
questions,
louder? Too much gain, not enough gain.
You repeatedly called out Obama and Biden administrations for their stupid decisions. One example you gave was a refusal to sell the Patriot missile defense systems to Turkey, which resulted in the explosion of the country from the F-35 program.
Maybe.
Now, you are known to
Yeah, okay, yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I do think he thought Putin respected him and saw him as a friend. And we all know that Putin just saw him as a useful idiot where he could just continue his campaign in Ukraine. And Trump, like, however many years later, is starting to come around to that idea, which, fine. Like, I guess better late than never, but better sooner than later.
in Turkey. What can you do to undo the stupidity? Yes, CNN show.
CNN? Well, because you sounded like a nice guy, but CNN is fake news. But you sound like the real
You're
deal
so
to me,
funny,
I'll answer
Mr.
the
Trump.
question. We're going to be discussing the Patriot system, which is the best system. We'll discuss that. We're going to discuss the F-35. We'll be discussing all of the things that you know about and that some of that you mentioned. And I think he'll be successful with buying the things he'd like to buy.
What concrete steps can you take?
Well, we'll have to see. We haven't even started yet. But I know he wants the F-35.
Yeah, that would have been
And he's
possibly a
wanted that,
big
and
brain
we're talking
move.
about that very seriously. And the
Yeah.
F-16, we're in great shape.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you're right.
Certain other things he needed, as
But
you know, and I'm going
fuck
to
Putin.
see to it that
What a
we
pussy.
get that to him. He needs certain things, and we need certain things. And we're going to come to a conclusion. You'll know by the end of the day. Go ahead, please.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanım, siz Başkan Trump'ın ne kadar barış için çabalar gösterdiğini daha önce de söylemiş bir cumhurbaşkanısınız. Ve siz de bölgede birçok ülkeyle, birçok liderle görüşmeler, kontaklar kurabiliyorsunuz. Bu konuda birlikte nasıl çalışabilirsiniz gelecekte?
Buna inandığım için zaten bunları söylüyorum. Birlikte el ele bölgedeki bu sıkıntıları aşacağımıza da inanıyorum.
Mr. President, all tariffs, Mr. President.
When are you planning
Because I haven't
to
learned,
lift
I haven't
consultation
learned this language yet. What did he say?
The gentleman was asking, Mr. President, you have referred to President Trump's peace efforts, and you have also contact with many leaders in the region. And what do you think that you can do about this? And Mr. President has said that, yes, I believe in the peace efforts that President Trump is leading, and together we will be able to overcome the challenges in the region.
I think it's true. He's got tremendous influence in the region. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, when are you planning to lift CAATSA sanctions against Turkey?
Against sanctions against Turkey?
CAATSA.
Could be very soon.
Mr.
If we have a good meeting, almost immediately.
President Erdogan is
Yeah.
removing sanctions.
Well, the unique thing about, or I don't know if it's unique, I think what the differentiator is, Putin doesn't need or really care about the world's admiration. I want to say I think Putin's goals are solely his own. I think in contrast to Trump, Trump wants to be seen as like a worldwide strongman. Like he still views the world as like areas of influence and their leaders. And it's a world of strongmen. And so that's why he respects Erdogan. That's why he respects I can't remember the other guy's name, but people like Putin, people like Xi Jinping, even Kim Jong-un. He respects these like dictatorial strongmen because that's kind of where his worldview ends. So while Putin doesn't need or care about the admiration of people like Trump really wants to be seen as a peer to these people. But yeah, they're both huge egotists. I just think there's different ways that plays out.
Erdogan is removing tariffs on U.S. goods, and what impact it would be in U.S. production?
Where are you from?
Turkey.
I see. We have a lot of people from Turkey here.
It's almost like you have the fucking Turkish president! Whatever.
That's
We are
good. Because I like the questions very much, actually. They're very nice questions. We'll see about tariffs. We're going to be talking about tariffs.
We already removed them.
Well, we're going to be talking about that.
Sanctions on Russia, even if not all NATO countries stop purchasing Russian oil?
We're going to be seeing about that. The NATO countries were disappointing in that regard, but they've been very amazing in other ways. They did, as you know, they went from 2% to 5% GDP, and that's a big step, and it's paid. I mean, they have the money there.
Storm.
We're selling a tremendous amount of military equipment to NATO. We're selling. We're not giving like Biden did. We're selling it
You know why we gave? Because we're in a fucking alliance, you dipshit.
to NATO, and it's a lot. They're buying a lot, and I assume they're giving it to Ukraine. They could buy it for other reasons too, but I assume they're giving most of it to Ukraine. But they're buying highly sophisticated weaponry, and they're paying for it full price. And that's how we're involved. Biden gave $350 billion. Look, this war would have never started if I were president. If I were president, this war would never be happened. Would have never happened. Yeah.
Mr. President, I would like to ask about Gaza. Are you on the same page, Mr. Erdogan?
for Palestine, Israel?
Well, I don't know his stance. I can't tell you about that. I just say that we want to get Gaza over with. I had a great meeting with the leaders of that area, of that region, generally speaking, the Middle East. We had a great meeting the other day at UNGA, as you know, and I think we're close to getting some kind of a deal done. Yeah, we want to get the hostages back. I have to get the hostages back. We're the ones that got the hostages, all of them that we have now. But it looks like there are 20 living hostages and probably 38 or so dead hostages. Pretty sad. And the parents of those dead souls, those dead,
You ever have a
mostly
coffee
men,
that's kinda, like,
boys,
nutty?
many cases like literally
good.
boys. They want those bodies back so badly, as much as though they were alive. And so
Anaheim
we had a very good
ball
meeting with
players.
the
It's not the Anaheim
representatives
Ducks,
of the
the
most
Anaheim-
powerful countries in the Middle East, and I think we're going to be close to a deal.
Any solution, Mr. President?
That's how I need to call on chatters. Whenever there's a high engagement moment, I'll call out a name. That's how I'll do chat from now on.
We've noticed that in the Ukrainian war and during the Israeli-Iran war, the airspace
God, that
of
was
the NATO
loud.
countries is very fragile, and it needs to be stronger. And in that sense, Turkey being the second largest army in NATO, it needs to support its air force and air defense. How do you look at this issue in general as a NATO?
Well, we support
because
them. I
it's
mean,
the eastern flank of
Yeah, we're in NATO, and you know, they're paying now 5% of GDP. Nobody thought that was possible, and they agreed to that 6 months ago when I was there. And the relationship is very good. The NATO countries, with us, is the strongest it's ever been. We used to complain that they're paying 2%, but they're not paying. The United States was paying almost everything. And now they're paying 5%, and they paid. And that's trillions of dollars. You know, we're talking about trillions of dollars. And they're spending that, giving that money to us, and we are giving them great defensive, you know, the Patriots and all of the different javelins, all the different missile systems and everything else that they want. But it's, it's trillions of dollars. So we appreciate that they did that. So they went from 2% to 5% of GDP, and that was something that
Wasn't
nobody even would
Poland
bring
already
up.
above?
Biden should have brought it up a long time ago, because under Biden, we paid
God, I remember having this
$350 billion
argument like
and-
at the very beginning of Trump too, and it was like, yeah, could European countries contribute more? Probably, but in terms of like the right we have by contributing the most is that we kind of have the final say. By reaching parity with everyone else, we have the same amount of say. So I don't think it's a bad move to have Europe bolster their defense. I think that's good. I think that's good for Europe. But the trade-off for that is that we do lose a lot of say in the conduct of NATO.
And all it did is make things worse. So we'll see how.
F-35s to Turkey, fighter jets, F-35s.
Yeah, we're talking about the fighter jets for Turkey. Yes, we are.
Are we going to see any steps going to be taken today about the issue? What things are going on in the Gaza, Palestine? Are we going to?
It could be today. Yeah, it could be today. We have a very strong dialogue going on with Saudi Arabia. With, I would say, you have 4 or 5 real leaders that are being good. As you know, I met with Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE. We met with Jordan. The King of Jordan was there. We had a really great meeting. I think a lot was determined at that meeting, and I have to meet with Israel, and I have to do that also.
Yeah, I mean,
they know.
And hey, good for Europe. Like, a strong Europe, I think, is a good thing for the world. Like, it's a lot more, I guess, decentralized than the U.S. because, as we can see, the attitude of the U.S. can change on a whim. So having a level of independence probably pretty good for Europe and just for like the liberal world order. Like, I'm not against it.
What I want, and I think we can get that one done. I hope we can get it done. A lot of people are dying. But we want the hostages back. We don't want them back, one this week, 1 and 2 months from now, 3 later, and like the way it's been going. We got them all back. We got a lot of them back. We got the American Alexander. We got the American hostages back. But we have now 20 plus 38 bodies, dead bodies. And we want them all back, and we want them back at one time.
President Erdogan will help to release the hostages?
Do I think what?
Do you think President Erdogan will help to release the hostages?
I don't know if he'll help in that. I don't really think we have. I don't think it'll be necessary in this case. I think we're going to be in a pretty good position. There are a lot of people that want that done. I met with great leaders. Look, you saw the people that were there, and great leaders. Egypt was also represented. We met with the leaders of that part of the world, and they want to see if they can get something done. And I'm going to have to tell Israel, let's go. We want to get the hostages back. Everybody wants to see that war over with, by the way. Everybody. So we're going to see what happens.
Mr. President,
how do you see a joint initiative with President Erdogan to bring the President of Russia, Putin, and President Zelensky to the negotiating table?
Well, I can tell you that President Erdogan is very respected by both of them. Everybody respects Erdogan. They really respect Erdogan. I do. And I think he could have a big influence if he wants to. Right now, he's very neutral. He likes being neutral. So do I like being neutral. But he's somebody that if he got involved, the best thing he could do is not buy oil and gas from Russia. If he did that, that would be probably the best thing. He knows Putin like I know Putin. I thought Putin, I settled, as you know, 7 wars, and it's probably more than that. If
Blasts loudly are? Am I missing something?
The real facts, but 7 wars, and I thought this would be among the easier ones to settle.
7 wars.
But I'm very disappointed in Putin. And he's been fighting hard, he's been fighting...
Remember the classic war of Albania? Or no. Yeah, he said Albania and Azerbaijan.
And they lost millions. They lost like 1 million soldiers. And with all of the heavy bombardment over the last 2 weeks, they've gained almost no land. Think of that. They've gained almost no land.
True.
And I'm not going to ever call anybody a paper tiger. But Russia spent millions and millions of dollars in bombs, missiles, ammunition, and lives. Their lives.
Up that number, brother.
And they've gained virtually no land.
Aren't Russian casualties up to like 800,000 or 1 million estimated? I know there's like 100-ish thousand confirmed, but someone should double check me on that.
I think it's time to stop. I really do.
What a great idea!
A few months ago, you met with Aliyev and Pashinyan. Can you follow up?
So where?
You met with Aliyev and Pashinyan, Azerbaijan President Aliyev and Pashinyan. Can you follow up on what you want to say about current process?
No, I can't. I like this guy. I like him. He's from CNN. Fake news, the worst fake news, but I like him. So it's CNN Turkey. I'll get
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Go.
Syria has been a major issue between the two countries for the past decade. And you said the future for Syria is in Erdogan's hands back in, I think, December and January. And the countries are in the process of integrating racial fractures into the main government. When do you want to see that happen?
Well, I think President Erdogan is the one responsible for Syria, for the successful fight in ridding Syria of its past leader. And I think this man is responsible. He doesn't take the responsibility, but it's actually a great achievement. They've been trying to do it for 2,000 years. I said, he does it, he did it. I mean, they're your surrogates. I think you should take the credit for it. I told him, take the credit. For 2,000 years, you've been trying to take over Syria. He took over Syria, and he doesn't want to take the credit. You know, all of those people are his surrogates.
Wait.
But the leader of Syria, the new leader, as you know, I took sanctions.
Hold on. Did I miss something?
The responsibility. It's past the successor one is
main government in the process of integrating regional fractures into the main government. When do you want to see that happen?
Well, I think President Erdogan is the one responsible for Syria, for the successful fight in ridding Syria of its past leader. And I think this man is responsible. He doesn't take the responsibility, but it's actually a great achievement. They've been trying to do it for 2,000 years. I said, he does it, he did it. I mean, they're your surrogates. I think you should take the credit for it. I told him, take the credit. For 2,000 years, you've been trying to take over Syria. He took over Syria, and he doesn't want to take the credit.
Took over is a lot different than assisted.
But the leader of Syria, the new leader, as you know...
Wait, does he think he's talking to the Ottoman fucking Empire? What? Okay, am I just ill-informed? Like, what? Is the new Syrian government said they're gonna rejoin Turkey after like 100 years? What?
I took sanctions off in order to let them breathe because the sanctions were very strong. But I think we should have a major announcement today. He was responsible for that victory. It was a victory for Turkey because they've been fighting, as you know, for like 1,000 years. And it never went, you know, it was back and forth, but he's responsible for that.
What does this mean for Syrian Kurdistan?
So he would have a lot to say with respect to Syria, but at his request, I took, and the request also of the King of Saudi Arabia.
Not home.
Very interesting. And Qatar. They said if you could take the sanctions.
You ever have an
we had
itch
very
on
strong
your
sanctions.
hands?
They couldn't have lived with those sanctions, and I took them off to give them a chance to breathe. But the president was one of the people that was responsible for that. He asked me to do it. I did it.
Mr. President, furloughs are very typical when the government shuts down. Why is the administration directing federal layoffs of federal workers this time around?
Well, this is all caused by the Democrats. They asked us to do something that's totally unreasonable. They never change. They want to give money.
Sorry. The unreasonable ask. We're going to be digging it. This is going to be the main subject of today. To my understanding, the unreasonable ask is to, like, keep some tax credits for Medicaid recipients? I'll have to double check on that, but it's something like that. I know he's going to try and frame it as, like, giving 1 million illegal immigrants unlimited free health care to turn them all transgender, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, from the little bit I've seen, the asks are pretty reasonable. Given that we were deciding, but like the Democrats were deciding between, do we do nothing and just fund it, whatever, or do we do a light shutdown?
Away to illegals, illegally, people that entered our country illegally. They want to give them massive federal money. And we don't want to do that because it means everyone's going to just keep pouring back. Right now we have absolutely perfect borders like you haven't seen in many years. Even better than I had great borders during my 4 years. But these borders are stone cold closed. You can only come into our country legally now. But the Democrats want to give it all away. They want to open up the borders.
Please say transgender for everybody.
Big thing. They want to open borders again after what we're going through now, getting rid of prisoners, getting rid of all of these people dropped out from mental institutions, drug dealers, drug addicts, everything. They're putting everybody into our country. It's all ended now. But this is what Schumer wants. This is what the Democrats want. They want to have, and they want to take our money.
Come on, he's so close. He's edging me so hard.
We're making more money than we ever have made. And by the way, we're going to take some of that tariff money that we made just to get off the subject for a second. We're going to take some of that tariff money that we made, we're going to give it to our farmers, who are, for a little while, going to be hurt until it kicks in. The tariffs kick into their benefit.
Transgender
so we're going to make sure
farmers
that our
for
farmers
everybody.
are in great shape, because we're taking in a lot of money. We're finding, the other day, it was very interesting, they found $31 billion. They said, sir, we found
what a
31. I
blue
said, "You mean
ball."
positively, right?" They said, yeah, 31 million more than we knew. And they said, we don't know where it came from. I said, check the tariff shelf. They came back the following morning. They said, you're right, sir, it came from the tariffs. We've never seen anything like this. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking some money from all of the tariff money that we've taken, and we're going to distribute it to our farmers until the tariffs kick into their benefit, which ultimately the farmers are going to be making a fortune. But it's a process of, it has to kick in. All right, maybe one more.
Isn't farming something we do just kind of for fun? Like, we're not a farming economy, are we?
There was another shooting at an ICE facility in Texas yesterday.
Terrible.
Detainees were killed.
Oh no,
the
not the
FBI
anti-ice bullet. Fucking
director
Christ.
posted on social media bullets that were engraved with the message anti-ICE.
Right.
He just posted another thing on social media saying they recovered a handwritten note from the subject that read, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think, is there a sniper with AP rounds on that roof?" Who do you hold responsible for the uptick left-wing?
Wait, hold on. Hold on. What ICE shooter message? What? Did they what? Did they release them like a
Radical left rhetoric. The radical left is causing the problem.
Yep.
They're out of control. They're saying things, and they're really dumb people. I mean, I look at Crockett. I look at some of these people. They're very low IQ people, actually. But the radical left is causing this problem, not the right, the radical left, and it's going to get worse.
Just out of curiosity, I know this is a little soy, but when's the last time he's criticized a white male fucking Democrat?
And ultimately, it's going to go back on them. I mean,
Other than
bad
Joe
things happen
Biden.
when they play these games. And I'll give you a little clue. The right is a lot tougher than the left. But the right's not doing this.
The
They're
woke
not doing
right.
it. And they better not get them energized, because it won't be good for the left. And I don't want to see
That's a threat.
that happen either. I'm the president of all the people. But the radical left is causing this. Radical left Democrats are causing this problem. And it gets worse.
Nancy
gets worse.
Pelosi,
And
whose husband
it'll
was attacked by a Republican, famously. Radical left, causing all this
be a
violence.
point where other people won't take it anymore, and that will not be good for the radical left, and we don't want that. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, was that anything other than, I mean, they're pushing us, we'll win, they'll find out. But they're pushing us, we don't want to hurt them, but we will, and we will win if we do. But we don't want that, we're for everybody. But just know it'll be a really bad time for them if we do decide to act up. Like, come on.
Mr. President, it seems like an indictment of James Comey is imminent. Would this be the first step in accountability for pushing the hoax of Russia, along with Barack Obama involved as well?
Well, I can't tell you what's going to happen because I don't know. You have very professional
Let me
people.
tell you, I love Schumer, I love the
headed
other
up by
white
the
guys.
Attorney
but
General,
the-
Todd Blanche, and Lindsay Halligan, who's very
Something
smart,
like
good
that.
lawyer, very good lawyer. They're going to make a determination. I'm not making that determination. I think I'd be allowed to get involved if I want, but I don't really choose to do so. I can only say that Comey's a bad person. He's a sick person. I think he's a sick guy, actually. He did terrible things.
On the handwritten note said, hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think, is there a sniper with AP rounds on that roof? Okay. I still don't buy it. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can get in trouble for that, but it doesn't. It just doesn't feel Like, the Kirk shooter, like, I think it was probably single issue transgender. Like, not that he was transgender, but I feel like he felt like trans people were being targeted. That might have been the motivating factor. This is just bizarre.
The FBI, and but I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay. That was that. So let me hit him with the slash marker. Ow. Turk. Okay. What next? We watched the UN thing? That was just fucking stupid and unhinged. But, like, what do you expect? Live. ICE agents under attack. Brian Kilmeade show. I don't know. Alright, hold on. Let me see what Gemini has to say about what the Democrats, the radical left Democrats, are demanding, holding the American people hostage over, according to Mr. Don. Okay. Yap. The primary sticking point in these tense negotiations is the Democratic insistence on extending the Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies. What are these? These subsidies have been crucial in lowering healthcare premiums for millions of Americans, and Democrats are adamant they be continued to prevent a significant rise in healthcare costs for families. How woke, how radical, how evil. Let's do our due diligence, obviously, and investigate this. Because this wouldn't be a political stream if I didn't do any politics. Alright, in addition to that, demanding the reversal of recent cuts to Medicaid, they argue that these reductions have jeopardized health care access for vulnerable populations and must be restored to maintain the social safety net. I like how I can... Oh, there we go. Alright, we'll open that up. Oh, that is really fucking helpful. You could just open sources on the side? What the fuck? These demands have been formally presented. The third key demand, is prevent future rescissions of previously appropriated funding. That's also pretty fucking reasonable. These demands have been formally presented in a continuing resolution. Oh, well, I'm stupid. Okay. Well, in that case, I suppose we ought to read that. Oh, this is all Fox News. Fox News. Got him. Alright. What else? Oh, God, I know there were some peer sport, like, panels that I was thinking about watching. Oh my god, dude. Wait. Theo Vaughn warns the left may attack him over DHS video. That's how you're framing it? Just for clarification, that saga was the DHS used a video of Theo Vaughn in one of their wholly tone-deaf fucking promo videos, and Theo Vaughn was like, don't do that. My position on this is a lot more nuanced than that. And now Tim Pool's blaming the left? This guy is a fucking tool. What is this? 4.4 million views. Why is Caroline Levitt, why do you always dress so poorly? I will not be watching. Oh god, not this fucking guy. What else we have? I don't want to watch any TYT. I just can't do that. They're indicting Comey, who won Trump the fucking election. Nice. Maddow grills Kamala on Pete too gay for VP. My God. Okay. That's if that's the way you want to interpret that interview, sure. I think that was a... Like, it sucks that America would have viewed having a black woman president and a gay VP as quote-unquote too much. It's just unfortunate reality. Yeah, let's do the UN speech. Because I can do some research while we watch this. Oh yeah, C-SPAN.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you nevertheless.
I wish they showed
and that
who
way
was
you
fucking
speak
laughing.
more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this
That's why, okay, when he speaks from the heart, his arteries are so fucking clogged that no energy can get through. Now it makes sense.
teleprompter is in big trouble.
Called
Hello, Madam First Lady.
Congress.
Thank you very much for being here.
One shut.
And Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, First Lady of the United States,
Overview.
distinguished delegates, ambassadors,
Oh my God.
and world leaders. 6 years have passed since I last stood in this grand hall and addressed a world that was prosperous and at peace in my first term. Since that day, the guns of war have shattered the peace I forged on 2 continents. An era of calm and stability gave way to one of the great crises of our time. And here in the United States, 4 years of weakness, lawlessness, and radicalism under the last administration delivered our nation into a repeated set of disasters. 1 year ago, our country was in deep trouble, but today, just 8 months into my administration, we are the hottest country anywhere in the world.
You got the hottest gun.
And there is no other country even close. America is blessed with the strongest economy, the strongest borders,
Wait, isn't that,
the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation on the face of the
why
earth.
are you down? Oh my God, I just broke
This is
everything.
indeed the golden age of America. We are rapidly reversing the economic calamity we inherited from the previous administration, including ruinous price increases and record-setting inflation. Inflation like we've never had before. Under my leadership, energy costs are down. Gasoline prices are down.
Okay.
Grocery prices are down.
Energy prices are down. Gasoline. Okay. Whatever. Grocery costs are not down, by the way. That is just a flat-out lie.
Mortgage rates are down. And inflation has been defeated.
Damn, he's
The only
mogging.
thing that's up is the stock market, which just hit a record high. In fact, it hit a record high 48 times in the last short period of time. Growth is surging, manufacturing is booming. The stock market, as I said, is doing better than it's ever done.
That's
And
how
all
it
of you in
fucking
this room-
works. If you look at the stock market, it kind of just goes up. Except when it goes down really sharply. Like when you introduce fucking tariffs. Whatever.
Benefit by that. Almost everybody. And importantly, workers' wages are rising at the fastest pace in more than 60 years. That's what it's all about, isn't it? In 4 years of President Biden, we had less than $1 trillion of new investment into the United
This is political
States.
commentary now.
In just 8 months since I took office, we have secured commitments and money already paid for 17.
Yeah. Dude, Chairman Trump fucking making Intel publicly owned. God bless Chairman. Man, he thought community-owned grocery stores were communist. Now he's got state-owned manufacturing. Like, all hail Chairman Trump.
$18 trillion.
Oh, would you look
Think
at
of
that?
it, 4 years, less than $1 trillion. 8 months,
This is
much more than
crazy.
$17 trillion is being invested in the United States. And it's now pouring in from all parts of the world.
Yeah, what? Like, groceries are just
We've
straight up.
implemented the largest tax cuts in American history and the largest regulation cuts in American history, making this once and again the best country on earth to do business.
Always has been.
And many of the
motherfucker.
people in this room are investing in America, and it's turned out to be an awfully good investment during this 8-month period.
I don't know how to tell people the investment that they've promised hasn't happened yet. It's just an agreement.
In my first term, I built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had the best economy ever, history of the world. And I'm doing the same thing again, but this time it's actually much bigger and even better. The numbers far surpass my record-setting first term. On our southern border, we have successfully repelled a colossal invasion. And for the last 4 months, and that's 4 months in a row,
Next week or something. Yeah.
the number of illegal aliens admitted and entering our country has been zero.
The asylum program has been completely and totally shut down. That's all he's talking about. That's all it is.
Believe, because if you look back just a year ago, it was millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, from
people,
prisons,
right?
from mental institutions, drug dealers, all over the world they came. They just poured into our country with the ridiculous open border policy of the Biden administration. Our message is very simple. If you come illegally into the United States,
I'm gonna go.
you're going to jail, or you're going back to where you came from, or perhaps even further than that. You know what that means?
Yeah, fucking
I want to
South
thank
Sudan.
the country of El Salvador for the successful and professional job they've done in receiving and jailing so many criminals that entered our country. And it was under the previous administration that the number became record-setting, and they're all being taken out. We have no choice. And other countries have no choice because other countries are in the exact same situation with immigration. It's destroying your country. And you have
You
to
guys
do something
know about
about
this
it.
immigration
On
thing?
the world stage,
I'm just
America
finding
is
out.
respected
It's
again
wild.
like it has never been respected before. You think about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, or 1 year ago, we were a laughingstock all over the world. At the NATO summit in June, virtually all NATO members formally committed to increase defense spending at my request from 2% to 5% of GDP, making our alliance far stronger and more powerful than it was ever before. In May, I traveled to the Middle East to visit my friends and rebuild our partnerships in the Gulf and those valued relationships with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE, and other countries are now, I believe, closer than ever before. My administration has negotiated one historic trade deal after another, including with the United Kingdom, the European Union, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia, and many, many others.
What happened to 90 deals? Whatever.
Likewise, in a period of just 7 months, I have ended 7 unendable wars. They said they were unendable. You're never going to get them solved. Some were going for 31 years, 2 of them, 31, think of it, 31 years. One was 36 years. One was 28 years. I ended 7 wars. And in all cases, they were raging with
I know,
countless
it's just,
thousands of people.
like, okay, so that's the thing, right? Like, what the fuck did Dems do? This shutdown is a great start. And I think forcing it to be a pretty easy healthcare thing of like, hey, why not some, like, premium reductions? That's who the fuck would say, actually, no, we're going to shut down the government to make sure you keep to having to pay higher premiums. I think that's a good start. I know Ezra Klein did a bit on, not a bit, but like a section on, all right, there's government shutdown coming, it needs to be about healthcare. And I think it's a good start. I honestly would love to see a shutdown where it just all they're asking is Trump to go up on TV on like Fox News or something and have him have to say inflation went from 7% to 2.5% under Joe Biden. Like, full stop. if we could, I don't know how fucking metagame that is politically, but I feel like that would be like to hear it from the horse's mouth, because again, the information environment on the right comes from that man right there. It is top down. I don't know if that's even legal to say, no, you have to go and say this. I don't know what the line between like taking the entire U.S. federal workforce hostage or just normal shutdown procedure is, but I feel like a good thing to force the issue of is a reconciliation of information, because nobody fucking trusts anybody else. The right trusts Fox and Newsmax. The left just doesn't. And the left doesn't trust like half of their own news sources. I don't know if you'd want to do like the Truth and Information Act. I don't know. There's nothing that feels good to do like fact check wise. But like, the only reason it's such an issue is because Republicans lie all the fucking time, so they feel like they're being targeted. Which is, don't you know? Do I know? Oh, fuck. How could I have forgotten? Oh, yeah, dude. Okay. This is my problem with like stuff like ground news. It works on the assumption that, and the flawed assumption, oh, the truth is somewhere in the middle. No. Like, unless you're defining somewhere in the middle as 90% one way and 10% the other way, like, sure. Some left, like, a lot of left news sources will put a leftward spin on it. But if you go fact for fact, they are 10 times better than the right news sources. So you could say the truth is somewhere in the middle, but it's like 90% leaning towards the left. But again, I don't know. Again, it's been something I've been thinking about a lot. I think it's gonna be like my pet issue is reconciling the information environments. I think it's something you gotta whittle away so slowly. I don't know if like there just needs to be some heavy research done on convincing people's like, or a long infiltration of right-wing news sources or something. Like, bro, I need my deep state operatives to get in there and start telling the fucking truth. But you can't just tell the truth. You have to little faint droplets of the truth in Fox News stories, and eventually might bring it together a bit. I don't know. I don't think you could do it from legislation because that just feels bad. You need to do the Project Veritas of the left.
People being killed. This includes Cambodia and Thailand, Kosovo and Serbia, the Congo and Rwanda, a vicious, violent war that was, Pakistan and India, Israel and Iran.
True. Well, the thing is, I don't know if this would work the other way around, because the left is much more, like, self-reflective, and it's just a different, like, you'd have to, well, okay, this exact strategy probably wouldn't work, but you could alter it for a top-down information environment. And honestly, I think the way to do that is, since the truth starts and stops with one man, if like we just make armies of truth social accounts to like control what this fucker sees every day, like, because it's like common, like whoever's in his ear last gets to dictate the truth of the world to him. I don't know. I might need to start building a coalition of woke lefties, not like commie left, but just some underground truth social operatives to just put things in front of Trump or whoever, like the right leader, the Republican leadership is. I'll think about this. I'll call it Operation I don't know.
Egypt and Ethiopia,
I'll think of
and Armenia and Azerbaijan. It included all of them.
Yeah, and they also, like, there's competition. The right is so centralized. Like, it is Fox News and Newsmax. The masses don't know, which is why you can't rely on the masses. Yeah, no, they think that somehow the narrative got spun that the Democrats are the liars, the weaponizers, and everything. It's like, yo, hell, what? Like, I don't think you can ever have faith that, I know this is like liberal elitist to the max, but you don't, there is never a world where I trust Americans will evolve to actually do research and refine their epistemic processes. Just doesn't happen. Like, you have to... Yeah, well, when the Dominion stuff came out, when it showed, like, Tucker Carlson laughing at the audience, I mean, he got fired, but people still love Tucker Carlson. I guess we could look into that.
No president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that. And I did it in just 7 months. It's never happened before. There's never been anything like that. I'm very honored to have done it. It's too bad that I had to do.
Well, I feel great. You know, I can never assess my appearance. I wait for my postmenopausal fans to weigh in on that. My IFB. What? They want to control me from afar? Okay, I'm putting the leash on. You can... Fuck it, we'll do it live!
God, I hate Tucker Carlson.
I got you, baby.
Looks like Tucker Carlson's post-firing period is quickly going from bad to worse as the former Fox host contends with yet another
Damn, Brian Tyler Cohen standing up? This is really old.
Video from Media Matters, this time mocking his own viewers as postmenopausal fans. And look,
that was
I know
the
that we talk about how much disdain Fox has for its own audience, but it really is something.
What are the other... God. Oh, man. That is peak old YouTube. Or older YouTube. Like 2 years ago. You're taking a 5-second clip and making a 10-minute video out of it. Oh, Yeah, I'll keep looking into this. Like, I don't know if we want to make a big compilation of right-leaning people calling, like, influencers calling their populace idiots. But I don't... Maybe. That's an angle for sure. I don't know.
These things instead of the United Nations doing them. And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them.
Alright, fuck it. I'm unabashedly soy, so I will make this. Yeah, but there's text message chains and all that. Oh! Okay. So we need the right... I know people are like, oh my god, the independent media space on the right is so large. I think we could use this to our advantage because independent creators are more egotistical and can create more fracturing. So if we just discredit the mainstream sources, they'll have to pick individual figureheads to follow. And that'll create infighting. And then instead of, the Dems have no messaging, it'll be, the Republicans have no fucking messaging.
I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle.
Like, I sitting here and yelling about Trump is something, and it's fun, but I actually want to, like, develop a strategy, because I was thinking about this a lot. It's like what am I fucking doing? But
if the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen, but she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much. And by the way, it's working now. It just went on. Thank you.
Yeah, true.
I think I should just do it the other way. It's easier.
Well, yeah, so for now,
Thank you
that just means
very
I
much.
gotta farm TikTok clips.
I didn't think of it at the time because I was too busy working to save millions of lives. That is the saving and stopping of these wars. But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't there for us. They weren't there. I thought of it really after the fact, not during these negotiations, which were not easy. That being the case,
Okay.
what is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential. For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war. The only thing that solves war and wars is action. Now, after ending all of these wars and also earlier negotiating the Abraham Accords, which is a very big thing for which our country received no credit, never receives credit. Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each one of these achievements. But for me, the real prize will be the sons and daughters who live to grow up with the mothers.
The most boring fucking 5 streams are gonna be the full healthcare dive that I've been putting off for like a year.
And fathers, because millions of people are no longer being killed in endless and unglorious wars. What I care about is not winning prizes, it's saving lives. We saved millions and millions of lives with the 7 wars. And we have others that we're working on, and you know that. Many years ago, a very successful real estate developer in New York, known as Donald J. Trump, I bid on the renovation and rebuilding of this very United Nations complex. I remember it so well. I said at the time that I would do it for $500 million, rebuilding everything. would be beautiful. I used to talk about, I'm going to give you marble floors. They're going to give you terrazzo. I'm going to give you the best of everything. You're going to have...
Dude, can you imagine if Trump was in charge of building the fucking UN building? It would just be a solid, like, it would be a gold leaf fucking dome with all this shitty filigree all over it. It'd be the most gaudy piece of shit ever. It looked like a... No, whatever. I don't feel comfortable finishing that.
Mahogany walls. They're going to give you...
But let's look at the Oval fucking
plastic.
office, man.
But they decided to go in another direction, which was much more expensive at the time, and which actually produced a far inferior product. And I realized that they did not know what they were doing when it came to construction, and that their building concepts were so wrong, and the product that they were proposing to build was so bad and so costly.
Man does not let go of a grudge.
It was going to cost them a fortune. And I said, and wait till you see the overruns. Well, I turned out to be right. They had massive cost overruns and spent between $2 and $4
fucking Monday
billion
morning
on the building
quarterbacking construction.
and did not even get the
What
marble
a
floors that I
fucking
promised
loser.
them. You walk on terrazzo. Do you notice that? As far as I'm concerned, frankly, looking at the building and getting stuck on the escalator, they still haven't finished the job.
Oh my fucking
They still
God.
haven't finished. That was years ago. The project was so corrupt that Congress actually asked me to testify before them.
Oh, this... Ow, shit, the shutdown. This will be a great TikTok.
On the tremendous waste of money, because it turned out that they had no idea what it was, but they knew it was anywhere between $2 and $4 billion as opposed to $500 million with a guarantee. But they had no idea, and I said it cost much more than $5 billion. Unfortunately, many things in the United Nations are happening just like that, but on an even much bigger scale, much bigger. Very sad to see. Whether the UN can
I took a
manage
one-day
to
tea break from coffee.
play a
I'm
productive
fucking
role.
wired.
I've come
I
here
have so
today
much
to
coffee
offer the
left.
hand of American leadership and friendship to any nation in this assembly that is willing to join us in forging a safer, more prosperous world. And
I'm like scratching
it's a
my hand. I
world
feel
that
like I'm
will
on meth, dude.
be much happier
Not that I
with.
would know, but...
A dramatically better future is within our reach. But to get there, we must reject the failed approaches of the past and work together to
Literally 1984.
confront some of the greatest threats.
Yo, Goon, what's up, brother? Yo, Goon 5 Charlie? Okay. What's up?
In history.
Just,
There is no
watching this embarrassing speech for our nation.
more serious danger to our planet today than the
Or
most
mine, I don't know
powerful
where
and
you're
destructive weapons ever devised by man, of which the United States, as you know, has many. Just as I did in my first term, I've made
Yeah.
containing these threats a top priority, starting with the nation of Iran. My position is very simple. The world's #1 sponsor of terror can never be allowed to possess the most dangerous weapon. That's why, shortly after taking office, I sent the so-called Supreme Leader a letter making a generous offer. I extended a pledge of full cooperation in exchange for a suspension of Iran's
I think we can all agree to let the man rest.
nuclear program. The regime's answer was to continue their constant threats to their neighbors and U.S. interests throughout the region and some great countries that are right nearby. Today, many of Iran's former military commanders, in fact, I can say almost all of them, are no longer with us. They're dead. And 3 months ago, in Operation Midnight Hammer, 7 American B-2 bombers dropped the 14 30,000-pound each bombs on Iran's key nuclear facilities, totally obliterating everything.
The reports coming out are saying whether or not the facility was obliterated, their nuclear program is back up and running, and they delayed it by a month, or two at most. So, like, it was a cool operation, but if we want to stop it, we gotta do that again. I'm not against, like, I do not want Iran to have nukes. I think Midnight Hammer was awesome, but it didn't work fully.
No other country on earth could have done what we did. No other country has the equipment to do what we did. We have the greatest weapons on earth. We hate to...
And also, like, I don't know how he, like, either he's just pretends that their nuclear program isn't working anymore, and they just get nukes, or he runs it again, and he's like, don't worry about it. Shut up.
Use them. But we did something that for 22 years people wanted to do. With Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity demolished, I immediately brokered an end to the 12-day war, as it's called, between Israel and Iran, with both sides agreeing to fight no longer. As everyone knows, I have also been deeply engaged in seeking a ceasefire in Gaza. Have to get that done. Have to get it done. Unfortunately, Hamas has repeatedly rejected reasonable...
Didn't we just get Gideon's Chariot too? They're like, have a ground invasion of Gaza City now.
offers to make peace. We can't forget October 7th, can we? Now, as if to encourage continued conflict, some of this body is seeking to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state. The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for these horrible atrocities, including October 7th, even while they refuse to release the hostages or accept a ceasefire. Instead of giving to Hamas
how to parse that statement.
and giving so much, because they've taken so much, they have taken so much. This could have been solved so long ago. But instead of giving in to Hamas's ransom demands, those who want peace should be united with one message: release the hostages.
Is there a condition tied to Canada, UK, and France saying, like, look, we'll recognize a Palestinian state, but it has to be the PA? Or is it just, like, full recognition of the Hamas government?
Hostages now. Just release the hostages now. Thank you.
Got it.
Thank you. As we have got to come together, and we will come together, got to get it done. We have to stop the war in Gaza immediately. We have to stop it. We have to get it done. We have to negotiate. Immediately have to negotiate peace. We got to get the hostages back. We want all 20 back. We don't want 2 and 4. As you know, I got, along with Steve,
A two-state solution with a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable and sovereign Palestinian state led by a reformed Palestinian Authority is the only path to a lasting peace for the Israeli and Palestinian people. Perfect. Okay, that is... I was really fucking hoping for that to be the case. Yeah. Okay, because I think it's a totally fair deal to say, all right, the PA becomes the legitimate government of a recognized Palestine, and Hamas is not allowed to hold power. I'm no fucking, what's his face? Norm Finkelstein. I'm not Lonerbox, but that seems like a pretty fair deal to me.
Steve Witkoff and others that helped us, Marco Rubio. We got most of them back. We were involved in all of them. But I always said the last 20 are going to be the hardest, and that's exactly what happened.
Fuck yeah.
We have to get them back now. We don't want to get back 2, and then another 2, and then 1.
So wait, Trump just doesn't know what they're... Oh, yeah, why would Trump know anything about this? The only person he gets the fucking news from is Netanyahu, who does not want a viable Palestinian Authority because he wants all of the West Bank.
And then 3, have this process. No, we want them all back, and we want the actually 38 dead bodies back too. Those parents came to me and they want them back, and they want them back very quickly and very badly, as though they were alive.
All right, 1,000-to-1 odds. Next week we hear about Trump making a rare earths mineral deal with Hamas.
If they want them, they want them every bit as much as if their son or daughter were alive. I've also been working relentlessly, stopping the killing in Ukraine. I thought that would be, of the 7 wars that I stopped, I thought that would be the easiest because of my relationship with President Putin, which had always been a good one. I thought that was going to be the easiest one, but you know, in war,
take him for a ride.
You
He
never
bent
know
me
what's
over
going to happen.
and
There are
rode
always
me
lots
like a
of
bitch.
surprises, both good and bad. Everyone thought Russia would win this war in 3 days, but it didn't work out that way. It was supposed to be just a quick little skirmish. It's not making Russia look good. It's making them look bad. No matter what happens from here on out.
What? This is
was
news to
something that should
everybody.
have taken a matter of days, certainly less than a week. And they've been fighting for 3.5 years and killing anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 young soldiers, mostly soldiers, on both sides, every single week, from 5,000 to 7,000 dead young people, and some in cities, much smaller numbers, where rockets are shot.
Man, I've just praying. Like, I'm so excited for Ukraine to win the fucking war of attrition. Holy shit, this would be fucking awesome.
Where drones are dropped. This war should never.
Hey, thanks for the follow, brother. I appreciate that.
Started if I were president. This was a war that should have never happened. It shows you what leadership is, what bad leadership can do to a country. Look what happened to the United States, and look where we are right now in just a short period of time. The only question now is how many more lives will be needlessly lost on both sides.
Hell yeah.
China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products, which, as you know, I found out about 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't happy. Think of it. They're funding the war against themselves. Who the hell ever heard of that one? In the event that Russia is not ready to make a deal to end the war, then the United States is fully prepared to impose a very strong round of powerful tariffs, which would stop the bloodshed, I believe, very quickly. But for those tariffs to be effective, European nations, all of you are gathered here right now, would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures. I mean, you're much closer to the city. We have an ocean in between. You're right there. And Europe has to step it up.
All right, yeah, saving these subsidies seems like a no-brainer. The ACA is very popular. And Trump knows it's popular because he's trying to take credit for it, even after trying to kill it. I feel like, man, we need every Democrat out there letting them know that this is what we're fighting for. Not for fucking transgender for everybody or illegal immigrants to have boob jobs or whatever. But for, like, families living at or just above the poverty line to have access to affordable health care. Fuck these. Dude, what? How does the Trump admin wake up and is like, yeah, today we're going to make pregnant women's lives worse. Ooh, and you know who's been really greedy? Poor people. Like, and it's not even a funding directly. It's a tax credit. So you're just paying less taxes. So there's people already contributing to the system. Like, oh my god. How?
They can't be doing what they're doing. They're buying oil and gas from Russia.
Like a Russian Federation
while they're
just on
fighting
their
Russia.
phone.
It's embarrassing to them, and it was very embarrassing to them when I found out about it, I can tell you that. But they have to immediately cease all energy purchases from Russia. Otherwise, we're all wasting a lot of time. So I'm ready to discuss this. We're going to discuss it today with the European nations, all gathered here. I'm sure they're thrilled to hear me speak about it, but that's the way it is. I like to speak my mind and speak the truth. As we seek to reduce the threat of dangerous weapons today, I'm also calling on every nation to join us in ending the development of biological weapons once and for all. And biological is terrible, and nuclear is even beyond, and we include nuclear in that. We want to have a cessation of the development of nuclear weapons. We know, and I get to view it all the time. Sir, would you like to see? And I look at weapons that are so powerful that we just can't ever use them. If we ever use them, the world literally might come to an end. There would be no United Nations to be talking about.
Okay, bud.
There would be no nothing. Just a few years ago, reckless experiments overseas gave us a devastating global pandemic. Yet despite that worldwide catastrophe, many countries are continuing extremely risky research into bioweapons and man-made pathogens. This is...
He's a lab leak truther now. Do we have a consensus on lab leak? Does it matter?
Unbelievably dangerous. To prevent potential disasters, I'm announcing today that my administration will lead an international effort to enforce Biological Weapons Convention, which is going to be meeting with the top leaders of the world by pioneering an AI verification.
No, I have almost no interest in the lab leak versus wet market debate. Because I don't... Even if it were, I'm sorry, researching like a virus seems like a pretty normal thing to do. I don't know. I don't know. I just like, yes, yes, COVID happened. That fucking sucked. But maybe I'm misguided in this view, but I don't put a lot of weight on whether or not it came from a lab. Like, if they intentionally released it, then yeah, that's a fucking problem. But other than that, I don't care.
System that everyone can trust. Hopefully the UN can play a constructive role, and it will also be one of the early projects under AI. Let's see how good it is, because a lot of people are saying it could be one of the great things ever, but it also can be dangerous, but it can be put to tremendous use and tremendous good, and this would be an example of that. Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve. The best example is the #1 political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders.
Dude, is Stephen Miller, like, puppeting him?
In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States. Think of that. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to infiltrate our southern border. Millions of people came through that southern border. Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring in, 25 million altogether over the 4 years of the incompetent Biden administration. And now we have it stopped, totally stopped. In fact, they're not even coming anymore because they know they can't get through.
I see.
But what took place is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world, trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause unmitigated crime, and deplete our social safety net. We have reasserted that America belongs to the American people, and I encourage all countries to take their own stand in defense of their citizens.
I was wrong on how it works. So you, from what I gather, you pay like what, up to 8.5% of your income, but the actual plan you're receiving might require more than that. So you're getting a better plan, but you're not actually paying the full amount of the plan, and the government fills in the gap. And then when individuals file their federal income taxes, they reconcile the advance premium tax credits they received with their actual income for the year. If they receive, and then there's, I guess, a calculation based on the sliding scale at the end of the year. That's okay.
As well, you have to do that because I see it. I'm not mentioning names. I see it, and I can call every single one of them.
Bro, why did they zoom in on fucking Mexico? Yo, these people are fucking
destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it. And I have to say, I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor, and it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law, but you're in a different country. You can't do that.
Is there polling on like how many U.S. Muslims want Sharia law?
Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe if something is not done.
I feel like this is a Google search that like every Islamophobe fuck has made. And it's just scrolled till they found like the Heritage Foundation or whatever.
Immediately, this cannot be sustained.
Oh, okay. This just
what makes
fills
the
it in
world so
automatically.
beautiful is that each country is unique. But to stay this way, every sovereign nation must have the right to control their own borders. You have the right to control your borders, as we do now, and to limit the sheer numbers of migrants entering their...
And r/atheism, our trusted source. I don't think so. As a closeted atheist living among Muslims, I can assure you, most of them sincerely want Sharia. Oh, Lord. Oh, r/atheism. You never fail.
Countries and paid for by the people of that nation that were there and that built that particular nation at the time. They put their blood, sweat, tears, money into that country, and now they're being ruined.
Holy shit.
Proud nations must be allowed to protect their communities and prevent their societies from being overwhelmed by people they have never seen before, with different customs, religions, with different everything, where migrants have violated laws, lodged false asylum claims, or claimed refugee status for illegitimate reasons. They should in many...
Well, you fucking need to try that out in courts. But you can't do that if you don't have a fucking asylum process, you dingleberry.
cases be immediately sent home. And while we will always have a big heart for places and people that are struggling and truly compassionate, answers will be given. We have to solve the problem, and we have to solve it in their countries, not create new problems in our countries. So we are very...
Which is why we cut U.S. aid, to make sure everyone's life is worse.
Helpful to a lot of countries that are just not able to send their people anymore. They used to send them to us in caravans of 25,000, 30,000 people each. These massive caravans of people pouring into our country, totally unchecked and unvetted. But not anymore. According to the Council of Europe in 2024, almost 50% of inmates in German prisons were foreign nationals or migrants. In Austria, the number was 53% of the people in prisons were from places that weren't from where they are now. In Greece, the number was 54%, and in Switzerland, beautiful Switzerland, 72% of the people in prisons are from outside of Switzerland. When your prisons are filled with so-called asylum seekers who repaid kindness, and that's what they did, they repaid kindness with crime, it's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you, I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
God.
In America, we've taken bold action to swiftly shut down uncontrolled migration. Once we started detaining and deporting everyone who crossed the border and removing illegal aliens from the United States, they simply stopped coming. They're not coming anymore. We're getting a lot of credit for.
Yeah, once we shut down the program that lets people seek asylum. Oh my God, there's no one seeking asylum. Oh my God. Do most Americans support shutting down the asylum process?
They're not coming anymore.
That's a good question.
This was a humanitarian act for all involved because on the trips up, thousands of people a week were dying. Women were being raped. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Raped.
No one's ever seen? Okay, I'm not going.
Horribly beaten, raped. On the trip up, the journey up, it was a long walk. It was a long, arduous journey, indeed. And it was also a historic victory against human trafficking throughout the region. What we did.
Okay. Percent of adults who say taking in civilian refugees from countries where people are trying to escape violence and war should be a blank goal for immigration policy in the U.S. 8% say not at all important. 19% say not too important. 45% say somewhat important, and 28% say very important. Again, this is a huge messaging issue. If our asylum process is shut down, that is something that is very unpopular. Even amongst Republicans. There's not a single demographic that says it's less important. Holy shit. Oh, it's all like fucking 90-20 issues. Jeez, or 80-20, sorry.
It was a victory, and we saved
That's crazy.
so many lives of people that wouldn't make the journey. That journey
This is a huge message.
loaded up with death. Loaded up with death. Dead bodies all along the roads of jungles to get up. They go through jungles, they go through areas so hot you couldn't breathe. They were dying of suffocation, areas so hot.
And they're coming there to rob a No, like, they're coming here to fucking work. They want a better life, you dumb fuck. It's like he's so close to connecting the dots. It's like, why would you do all that? That sounds awful. And then they're coming here and they're just evil, terrible people. It's like, okay. I don't know if you're going to trek across the desert and brave the border with the sole goal of, like, committing minor crimes. Like, it just, I don't know. As a human being, that just doesn't track, but many could disagree.
That you couldn't breathe. Dead bodies all over.
Playing Minesweeper.
By them not coming, we're saving tremendous numbers of lives. My people have done a fantastic job in doing what they did, and the American public agrees with it. I mean, I was very proud to see this morning I have the highest poll numbers I've ever had. Part of it is because of what we've done on the border. I guess the other part is what we've done on the economy. Joe Biden's policies empowered murderous gangs, human smugglers, child traffickers, drug cartels, and prisoners from all over the world. The previous administration also lost nearly 300,000 children. Think of that. They lost more than 300,000 children, little children, who were trafficked into the United States on the Biden watch. many of whom have been raped, exploited, and abused, and sold. Sold. Nobody talks about that. The fake news doesn't write about it. With many others,
that's me. I'm
young
fake
children
news.
who are missing or dead. And we found a lot of these children, and we're sending them back, and we've been sending them back to their parents. They said, nobody knows who they are. They said, where do you come from? And they'll give us a country, and we'll find out, and we'll figure it out, and we'll bring them back to their homes. And the mother and father rush to the door, and their tears in their eyes. They can't believe that they're seeing their son or daughter, their little son or daughter again. We've done almost 30,000 of them so far. Any system that results in the mass trafficking of children is inherently evil. Yet that is exactly what the globalist migration agenda has done, and it's what it's all about.
Not the globalists.
In America, those days, as you know, are over. The Trump administration is working, and we are continuing to work to track down the villains that are causing this problem, and also, as I said, to get back the 30,000 we've already returned.
Whatever.
Now I think we're going to have another. We're going to find a lot. You're not going to find all of them. 300, more than 300,000. They're lost or they're dead. They're lost or they're dead.
Double the number
because of the
just
animals
now?
that did this. To protect our citizens, I've also designated multiple savage drug cartels as forest. And you see this, and you see it happening right before your eyes.
I've designated them as forests.
Also designated multiple savage drug cartels as forest. And you see this, and you see it happening right before your eyes. Let's put it this way: people
Joe
don't
Biden
like taking
was incompetent, guys.
big loads of drugs.
Kamala's laugh was weird. Kamala's laugh was weird.
In boats anymore. There aren't too many boats that are traveling on the seas by Venezuela. They tend not to want to travel very quickly anymore. And we've virtually stopped drugs coming into our country by sea. We call them the water drugs. They kill hundreds of thousands of people.
Since when?
I've also designated multiple savage drug cartels as far as foreign terrorist organizations, along with two bloodthirsty transnational gangs, probably the worst gangs anywhere in the world, MS-13 and Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua is from Venezuela, by the way. Such organizations torture, maim, mutilate, and murder with impunity. They're the enemies of all humanity. For this reason, we've recently begun using the supreme power of the United States military to destroy Venezuelan terrorists and trafficking networks led by Nicolas Maduro. To every terrorist thug smuggling poisonous drugs into the United States of America, please be warned that we will blow you out of existence. That's what we're doing. We have no choice. Can't let it happen. They're destroying. I believe we lost 300,000 people last year to drugs. 300,000. Fentanyl and other drugs. Each boat that we sink carries drugs that would kill more than 25,000 Americans. We will not let that happen.
Oh my God, what's
Energy
happening
is
to all the
another
fish?
area where the United States is now thriving like never before. We're getting rid of the falsely named renewables. By the way, they're a joke. They don't work.
Okay.
They're too expensive. They're not strong enough to fire up the plants that you need to make your country great. The wind doesn't blow those.
What is wrong with this guy? Okay. Yeah.
Big windmills are so pathetic and so bad, so expensive to operate. Then they have to be rebuilt all the time.
I read something, I haven't confirmed this like with multiple sources, but a part of the reason he hates, this is just something I read, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that the part of the reason he hates wind so much is because on one of his golf courses on the 18th hole, they set up some windmills and he was pissed and it was ruining his view. So he petitioned like the city or the town to get them blocked and it didn't work. Someone gotta fact check me on that one, but it's just what I heard.
Time they start to rust and rot. Most expensive energy ever conceived, and it's actually energy. You're supposed to make money with energy, not lose money. You lose money, the governments have to subsidize. You can't put them out without massive subsidies. And most of them are built in China, and I give China a lot of credit. They build them, but they very few wind farms. So why is it that they build them and they send them all over the world, but they barely use them? You know what they use? Coal. They use gas. They use almost anything, but they don't.
Okay, I would support all of this bullshit if he's like, we're investing $1 trillion into nuclear energy. I'd be like, you know what? Fine. Fuck wind. Fuck solar. But again, it's living up to the name conservative, making sure nothing advances.
Like wind, but they sure as hell like selling the windmills. Europe, on the other hand, has a long way to go, with many countries being on the brink of destruction because of the green energy agenda. And I give a lot of credit to Germany. Germany was being led down a very sick path, both on immigration, by the way, and on energy. They were going green, and they were going bankrupt. And the new leadership came in, and they went back to where they were, with fossil fuel and with nuclear, which is good. It's now safe, and you can do it properly. But they went back to where they were, and they opened up a lot of different plants, energy producing plants, and they're doing well. I give Germany a lot of credit for that. They've said this is a disaster, what's happening. They were going all green. All green is all bankrupt. That's what it represents. And it's not politically correct. I'll be very badly criticized for saying it, but I'm here to tell the truth. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm in New York City.
You heard it here first, folks. The wind is now woke
crime. We're getting
by presidential
crime down.
decree.
And by the way, speaking of crime, Washington, D.C. was the crime capital of America. Now,
oh, yeah, by the way, like, I know I'm shitting on this, like, I keep forgetting this is at the fucking UN, not just, like, a speech at the U.S. Like, I mean, it's in New York, but I don't give a fuck about half of this shit.
Now it's after 12 days, it's a totally safe city. Everyone's going out to dinner. They're going out to restaurants. Your wife can walk down the middle of the street with or without you. Nothing's going to happen. My people have done a fantastic job. And yes, I called in the National Guard, and the National Guard took care of business. And they weren't politically correct, but they took care of business. We got 1,700 career criminals out, brought them back to where they came from, the countries where they came from, or put them in jails. Washington, D.C. is now a totally safe city again, and I welcome you to come. In fact, we'll have dinner together at a local restaurant, and we'll be able to walk. We don't have to go by an armor-plated vehicle. We'll walk right over there from the White House. They've given up their powerful edge, a lot of the countries that we're talking about, in oil and gas, such as essentially closing the great North Sea oil. Oh, the North Sea, I know it so well. Aberdeen was the oil capital of Europe, and there's tremendous oil that hasn't been found in the North Sea. Tremendous oil. And I was with the Prime Minister I respect and like a lot, and I said, you're sitting with the greatest asset. They essentially closed it by making it so highly taxed that no developer, no oil company can go there. They have tremendous oil left, and more importantly, they have tremendous oil that hasn't even been found yet. And what a tremendous asset for the United Kingdom. And I hope the Prime Minister is listening, because I told it to him 3 days in a row. That's all he heard. North Sea oil, North Sea, because I want to see them do well. I want to stop seeing them ruining that beautiful Scottish and English countryside with windmills and massive solar panels that go 7 miles by 7 miles, taking away farmland. But we're not letting this happen in America. And
Okay, so looking into the fact check, without subsidies, we don't know whether or not it's profitable or not. So, okay. Seems to be a common theme. Running with things we don't know the answer to. Oh well.
1982, the executive director of the United Nations Environmental Program predicted that by the year 2000, climate change would cause a global catastrophe. He said that it will be irreversible, as any nuclear holocaust would be. This is what they said at the United Nations. What happened? Here we are. Another UN official stated in 1989 that within a decade, entire nations could be wiped off the map by global warming. Not happening. You know, it used to be global cooling. If you look back years ago in the 1920s and the 1930s, they said global cooling will kill the world. We have to do something. Then they said global warming will kill the world. But then it started getting cooler. So now they could just call it climate change, because that way they can't miss. It's climate change. Because if it goes higher or lower, whatever the hell happens, there's climate change. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion. Climate change, no matter what happens, you're involved in that. No more global warming, no more global cooling. All of these predictions made by the United Nations and many others, often for bad reasons, were wrong. They were made by stupid people that have cost their countries fortunes and given those same countries no chance for success. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. And I'm really good at predicting things, you know. They actually said during the campaign,
oh my God,
they had a hat.
Don't fucking
the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail.
I can't wait for
and if you don't
President
stop
Newsom, man.
people that you've never seen before, that you have nothing in common with, your country is going to fail. I'm the President of the United States, but I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe. And I hate to see it being devastated by energy and immigration. This double-tailed monster destroys everything in its wake, and they cannot let that happen any longer. You're doing it because you want to be nice. You want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage. They must take control strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy catastrophe before it's too late. The carbon footprint is a hoax made up by people with evil intentions.
Come on, like, I like, what is, we're going this far back? Like, you couldn't just leave it at fucking vaccines? Now we're doing climate denial again? I thought we got past this, but I guess not. I guess we're still here. Right, we're not even past fucking dinosaurs. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Fuck me.
And they're heading down a path of total destruction. You know, the carbon footprint was a big, big thing a few years ago. I remember hearing about the carbon footprint, and then President Obama would get into Air Force One, a massive Boeing 747, and not a new one.
But it's like, oh, you're gonna mention that things emit carbon and that insulates the atmosphere? Have you considered that you've flown on a plane before? Liberal. Checkmate, fucknut. Like, come on.
An old one with old engines that spew everything into the atmosphere. He'd talk about the carbon footprint, we must do so. Then he'd get in and he'd fly from Washington to Hawaii to play a round of golf. And then he'd get back onto that big, beautiful plane and he'd fly back and he'd talk about, again, global warming and the carbon footprint.
Yep, you just owned
It's a con
Obama.
job.
You got him.
At extreme cost and expense, Europe reduced its own carbon footprint by 37%. Think of that.
That's awesome.
Congratulations, Europe. Great job. You cost yourself a lot of jobs, a lot of factories closed, but you reduced the carbon footprint by 37%. However, for all of that sacrifice and much more...
Does green energy plants, does he think they just, like, grow out of the ground? He does realize people need to build them, right? These solar panels, they're popping up everywhere. They just keep growing and growing. Back in my day, we used to cut them down. We said, Solar, see you later. I don't know what voice that turned into.
It's been totally wiped out and then some by a global increase of 54%. Much of it coming from China and other countries that are thriving around China, which now produces more CO2 than all the other developed nations in the world. So all of these countries are working so hard on the carbon footprint, which is nonsense, by the way. It's nonsense. You know, it's interesting. In the United States, we have still radicalized environmentalists, and they want the factories to stop. Everything should stop. No more cows. We don't want cows anymore. I guess they want to kill all the cows. They want to do things that are just unbelievable, and you have it too. But you know,
what prompted this?
We have a border, strong.
He hasn't mentioned environmental stuff in so long. Where's this coming from? Why? God. The big funny old man. Look at him ramble. Oh shit, he's the president?
And we have a shape, and that shape doesn't just go straight up. That shape is amorphous when it comes to the atmosphere. And if we had the most clean air, and I think we do, we have very clean air. We have the cleanest air we've had in many, many years. But the problem is that other countries, like China, which has air that's a little bit rough.
Dr. Don strikes again, now with a PhD in green or environmentalism or whatever. What the fuck? Oh my god. Can he just be a Facebook uncle posting this shit? Does he have to be the fucking president? Guys, emissions aren't a problem. They go up. It's not like they rain back down on us. They go into this big blob of the atmosphere. Thanks, Dr. Don, PhD. Oh my god.
It blows. And no matter what you're doing down here, the air up here tends to get very dirty because it comes in from other countries where their air isn't so clean. And the environmentalists refuse to acknowledge that. Same thing with garbage. In Asia, they dump much of their garbage.
These environmentalists are famously denying the existence of wind.
Journey, it flows right past Los Angeles. You've seen it. Massive amounts of garbage, almost too much to do anything about. Flowing past Los Angeles, past San Francisco, and then somebody will get in trouble because he dropped a cigarette on the beach. The whole thing is crazy. The primary effect of these
his fucking stature here too. He's like, guys, are you hearing about that? He's doing the whole thing. It's crazy, guys. Did you hear about this thing?
Energy policies has not been to help the environment, but to redistribute manufacturing and industrial activity from developed countries that follow the insane rules that are put down to polluting countries that break the rules and are making a fortune. They're making a fortune. European electricity bills are now 4 to 5 times more expensive than those in China, and 2 to 3 times higher than the United States. And our bills are coming way down. You probably see that our gasoline prices are way down. You know, we have an expression, drill.
Nós reduzimos os custos de energia porque nós faremos como a expressão, vamos fazer tudo isso, reduzir os custos de energia e os custos diminuíram nos Estados Unidos.
We have an expression.
That our gasoline prices are way down. You know, we have an expression, drill.
Nós reduzimos os custos de energia porque nós faremos como a expressão, vamos fazer tudo isso, reduzir os custos de energia e os custos diminuíram nos Estados Unidos.
Common to see one
Por exemplo, se você olhar
electric costs
nos países em
approximately
faturas de
100 heat-related deaths.
nós não
What is happening?
mas nós nos Estados Unidos conseguimos usar eles e evitar aumento da temperatura, porque é muito caro também usar nado e ninguém usa
Pretending to stop the global
tudo isso
hoax.
Why is it?
como a
Of asking
mudança.
industrialized nations,
Esse agenda mundialista não tem nenhum sentido.
entire societies must be rejected
País
and it must be immediate.
Okay, I'll go to the
That's
party,
why
but
in
I'm not
America I
drinking.
withdrew from
Me
the
after
fake
one beer.
Paris Climate Accord, where, by the way, America was paying so much more than every country. Others weren't paying. China didn't have to pay until 2030. Russia was given an old standard that was easy to meet, a 1990 standard. For the United States, we're supposed to pay like $1 trillion. And I said, this is another scam. The fact is, the United States has been taken advantage of by the world for many, many years, but not any longer, as you probably noticed. I unleashed
I gotta say, what was it, Portuguese segment of this was more coherent than his speech.
massive energy production and signed historic executive orders to hunt for oil, but we don't have to do much hunting because we have the most oil of any nation anywhere, oil and gas in the world. And if you add coal,
I know
we
I'm
have the
the
most
gassiest.
of any nation in the world. Clean, I call it clean, beautiful coal. You can do things today with coal that you couldn't have done 10 years ago, 15 years. So I have a little standing order in the White House. Never use the word coal, only use the words clean, beautiful coal. Sounds much better, doesn't it?
Not
But we stand
really.
ready to provide any country with abundant, affordable energy supplies if you need them, when most of you do. We're proudly exporting energy all over the world. We're now the largest exporter. In the United States, we want trade and robust commerce with all nations, everybody. We want to help nations. We're going to help nations. But it must also be fair and reciprocal. The challenge with trade is much the same with climate. The countries that followed the rules, all their factories have been plundered. It's really sad to watch. They've been broken. They've been broken by countries that broke the rules. That's why the United States is now applying tariffs to other countries, and much as these tariffs were for many years applied to us, uncontrollably applied to us. We've used tariffs as a defense mechanism under the Trump administration, including my first term, where hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs were taken in. And by the way, we had the lowest inflation, and now we have very low inflation. The only thing different is that we have hundreds of billions of dollars flowing into our country. But this is how we will ensure that the system works for everyone and is sustainable into the future. We're also using tariffs to defend our sovereignty and security throughout the world, including against nations that have taken advantage of former U.S. administrations for decades, including
Holy crap.
the most corrupt, incompetent administration in history, the sleepy Joe Biden administration. Brazil now faces major tariffs in response to its unprecedented efforts to interfere in the rights and freedoms of our American citizens and others, with censorship, repression, weaponization, judicial corruption, and targeting of political critics in the United States. I have a little problem saying this because I must tell you, I was walking in and the leader of Brazil was walking out.
And
We saw him, and I saw him, he saw me, and we embraced. And then I'm saying, can you believe I'm going to be saying this in just 2 minutes? But we actually agreed that we would meet next week. We didn't have much time to talk, like about 20 seconds. They were in retrospect, I'm glad I waited because this thing didn't work out too well. But we did talk. We had a good talk, and we agreed to meet next week, if that's of interest. But he seemed like a very nice man, actually. He liked me, I liked him. But if you, and I only do business with people I like. When I don't like them, I don't like them. but we had, at least for about 39 seconds, we had excellent chemistry. It's a good sign. But also in the past, Brazil, can you believe this, unfairly tariffed our nation, but now because of our tariffs, we are hitting them back, and we're hitting them back very hard. As president, I will always defend our national sovereignty and the rights of American citizens. So I'm very sorry to say this, that Brazil is doing poorly and will continue to do poorly. They can only do well when they're working with us. Without us, they will fail, just as others have failed. It's true. Next year, the United States will celebrate the 250th anniversary of our glorious independence, a testament to enduring power and American freedom and spirit. We will also be proudly hosting the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and shortly thereafter, the 2028 Olympics, which is going to be very exciting. I hope you all come. I hope that countless people from all over the globe will take part of these will be great celebrations of liberty and human achievement, and that together we all can rejoice in the miracles of history that began in July 4th, 1776, when we founded the light to all nations. And it's something really that an amazing thing came out of that date. It's called the United States of America. In honor of this momentous anniversary, I hope that all countries who find inspiration in our example will join us in renewing our commitment, values, and those values really that we hold so dear together. Let us defend free speech and free expression. Let us protect religious liberty, including for the most persecuted religion on the planet today. It's called Christianity. And let us safeguard our sovereignty and cherish qualities that have made each of our... And let us protect religious liberty, including for the most persecuted religion on the planet today. It's called Christianity. And let us safeguard our sovereignty and...
Okay, Stephen Miller is actually whispering in his ear. He's like, those Muslims and those Jews are out to get you. Or whatever. But no, he doesn't sound like that at all. He's so hard to do because it's like you take the soul out of a human being and you have what's left.
Cherish qualities that have made each of our nations so special, incredible, and extraordinary. In closing, I just want to repeat that immigration and the high cost of so-called green renewable energy is destroying a large part of the free world and a large part of our planet. Countries that cherish freedom are fading fast because of their policies on these two subjects. You need strong borders and traditional energy sources if you are going to be great again. Whether you have come from north or south, east or west, near or far, every leader in this beautiful hall today represents a rich culture, a noble history, and a proud heritage that makes each nation majestic and unique, unlike anything else in human history or any other place on the face of the earth. From London to Lima, from Rome to Athens, from Paris to Seoul, from Cairo to Tokyo and Amsterdam to right here in New York City, we stand on the shoulders of the leaders and legends, generals and giants, heroes and titans who won and built our beloved nations, all of our nations, with their own courage, strength, spirit, and skill. Our ancestors.
This would be a great ending to a speech if he had said anything else during the speech.
Climbed mountains, conquered oceans, crossed deserts, and trekked over wide open plains. They charged into thunderous battles, plunged into grave dangers, and they were soldiers and farmers.
It's a Trump wiener with the... No? Am I the only one seeing it?
And workers and warriors and explorers and patriots.
Okay,
they built towns into cities, tribes into kingdoms, ideas into industries, and small islands into mighty empires. You're a part of all of that. They were champions for their people who never gave up and who never, ever gave in. Their values defined our national identities. Their visions forged our magnificent destiny. Everybody in this room is a part of it in your own way. Each of us inherits the deeds and the myths, the triumphs, the legacies of our own heroes and founders who so bravely showed us the way. Our ancestors gave everything for homelands that they defended with pride, with sweat, with blood, with life, and with death. Now the righteous task of protecting the nations that they built belongs to each and every one of us. So together let us uphold our sacred duty to our people and to our citizens. Let us protect their borders,
This guy said
ensure
duty.
their safety, preserve their cultures, treasure, and traditions, and fight, fight, fight for their precious dreams and their cherished freedoms. And in friendship and really a beautiful vision, let us all work together to build a bright, beautiful planet.
Didn't he just send half the speech saying you all are going to hell and you're evil and you're polluting us and you're the worst and you're sending your worst people? Fuck you all. Oh my God.
Planet that we all share, a planet of peace and a world that is richer, better, and more beautiful than ever before. That can happen. It will happen. It will happen, and I hope it can happen and start right now, right at this moment. We'll turn it around. We're going to make our countries better, safer, more beautiful. We're going to take care of our people. Thank you very much. It's been an honor. God bless the nations of the world. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, well, that was truly horrifying. Yeah, I guess another day, another embarrassment. I gotta cut stream a little bit short, well, very short today. That's kind of what I wanted to look at. I want to watch the Jimmy Fallon thing, but I feel like I kind of missed the moment. Yeah, I'll be doing more research into the fucking shutdown thing as that comes closer, because I need you all to get out there and spread the message that it's epic and base to shut down the government until Trump protects poor people. Yeah.